Show us your tips. Weekend preview time. Daggy and Beaver with you to get stuck into Ipswich and Flemington. How are you travelling, mate?
Yeah, travelling well, thanks, Daggy. Another nice week and ready to go for the weekend as we move out of the big tracks in Brizzy and off to Little Ipswich.
Yeah. Well, we did say we'll get through the winter carnival, but I had a little bit of buyer's regret once I got stuck into this card. But it's all right. Stock standard Queensland. There's
Mate, I'm pretty excited by Flemington. I'm pretty
Flemington's
keen I can have a
fantastic.
good day there.
Oh, I'm keen for Flemington.
Yeah,
Uh, we'll get. Oh, definitely no problems there. But we've got Ipswich to get through first, being apparently the feature program there. So we'll knock that out of the way. Still 9 winners to be had. Rail goes out 0.5 of a metre. Should get to a good track up there, I'd suggest. Any thoughts on the Ipswich track? I think you'd probably generally want to be drawn not too far from the inside. I think I didn't necessarily go for looking
yeah.
for wide
But
barriers here.
it does. Yeah, that's true. But it's not an overly long straight, but it tends to be a track where you can wind up and swoopers can swing around the bend
Yeah.
and pop home. You kind of think you're going to run out of ground, but they do fly home there.
I
And
think
it
if you're
does
out, you've
it
got to get
does
going early. You've got to sort of ping off that bend.
correct.
Yeah.
You got to ping off the bend, and then you can really wind up, and so it gives them all a chance. So I don't mind the old Ipswich track. I think it provides enough opportunity for all the horses.
Awesome. Well, let's start there. As I said, rail 0.5. We kick off with the babies, 1,200 metres, 2-year-old handicap. And I might as well open the batting today. We're going to go. Well, I'm going to start with Defiant Spirit. I thought that was a fairly nice debut win. Had to get going quite early. Was pulling that hard. He got going early, covered some ground, and gave him a beating on debut. I thought that was a nice win. I think there's more upside there. Looking forward to seeing what else is under the bonnet. And if I was going to find a danger here, I was looking at potentially the first starter here, Payline. I thought the trial back recently was quite strong, finishing off there and around a double figure mark. May give you a sight. Suspect Chris Muntz would have had this ready to go. What have you made of this?
No, I really liked it. Trial of number 8, Deep Dawn, from the Golden stable. Thought it was quite impressive. Won it quite comfortably its trial, and that was in not too bad a time as well. So put on soft going. Thought that was pretty good. After its first trial, it wasn't asked to do much, so they really tuned it up for a good first up tilt. Drawn 3 kilo and a half claim. Think it can run well. Defiant Spirit, as you said, it was a nice first up win. Interestingly, it won a trial and then its first start, it was almost the outsider in a 5-horse field and it
Hmm.
won quite well. So that was a bit odd to me. So may have a bit of ability, but Deep Dawn on top.
The second is a 1350 no metro win race. And a couple of these do come here with some okay metro form. I know Sailor Secret's been one of yours. Is that how you've ended up?
Now I've moved on to Rejoiced
Hmm.
from the Webster stable. Um, I think it's got some experience here at the Ipswich track 2 starts ago. Ran a nice second. Just couldn't finish it off there, but led for most of the way. First up, then went to Toowoomba, was a long odds on, and led all the way and won fairly comfortably there. I thought that was a good win. Gate 9 probably comes out running here again, gets the claim for Angela Jones. I think she can ride the first 2 winners here and got it on top.
Lovely. I think there's two chances. It's one of them. You've covered off perfectly. Probably finds the lead as well. And Sailor Secret should be on pace. I think Sunfall's going to run well in the next. I think that form's okay, and does have some reasonable.
Yep.
Does actually have some reasonable metro form lines without having won a metro race. So I think they're the two clear chances here in not a bad betting race if we can get a reasonable price about both of them. The third is a benchmark 78. And as I just mentioned, over the mile, as I just mentioned, I think Sunfall's going to win again. The last couple have been good. Gets an inside gate for Jake Lloyd, where should be able to take up a reasonable spot. And there's not a lot of informed metropolitan horses here, so I've got it clearly on top. I think if I did have to find one for it to get past, it would be Pentito, who from gate 1 may even lead this race and has been brave its last, been brave or prepped the last one to Baltic Coast and led up Yasuki there. I think that form stacks up fine here. They're the two for me here. What are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm very keen on Sunfall as well. That was an excellent win last start. It was held up on the fence, never looked like it was going to get out. And once it did, it pinged straight past him. Uh, Gate 3 here should get a nice cozy run, and it's better than most of these. So clear on top for me. Again, gets in nicely with 8.5 kilo claim. Super hard to beat.
The 2,500 metre provincial stayers final is up next. It's a benchmark 78 level. There for me. Who have you found here?
Yeah, below for me as well. But the one I was going sort of a little bit wider in the market, and I've gone for one around $10 in Savvy Legend.
Hmm.
Run some good, nice races, beat most of these before, and has been pretty consistent of late. So can't see any reason why it won't run well. And it's got top jock on board up there, James Ormond. So Savvy Legend for me.
Yeah, if I had to put them in an order, it would be the top weight on top, readily available. I think it's a real line finder. It's going quite well. Went out wide and won that race at Sunshine Coast. Well, before that was pretty good at a midweek. So around the each way price is, for the record, my top pick. We've got an 1100 metre benchmark 68, not 68, class 6. What am I saying? Again, two clear hopes for me here. I've got Extremist on top actually. Sat outside lead last time out in that Comrade Rosa race and did retire, but this is a big drop in grade. I think it almost gets a close to sole lead. I think there'll be a slight bit of pressure from maybe Goldsboro underneath it, but uh, back in control, I think runs are much better, and around a $5 mark, it's on top from Deepaw, who would be on top if it wasn't for the gate. I'm just concerned it may end up out the back, but if it does get going early enough, is definitely in this race. The Alberson was disappointing first up, and the rest of these are making up numbers. What did you see in this one?
Yeah, I came down to two here. I put Orbison on top. Probably was a bit disappointing first up, as you highlight, but I think it can have some rather large improvement here. Both trials were good, and then had to do a bit of work first up and sort of led, went pretty hard, was taken on. This is a weaker company that was listed, got it on top, and you're right, Extremist. You can put a line through last start, go back to first up where it ran second behind Antino,
Yeah,
and that had certainly put it in this race.
definitely. The quaddy kicks off in the 1350 for the 3-year-old. It's a handicap here. In the last 10 minutes, Plundering's come out, so it doesn't help any of my cause here because I didn't like a lot else. Who do you like?
Yeah, I thought Plundering was going to be hard to beat.
Hmm.
My other horse that I thought was could run well is Fashion Legend, the top weight. I think it's probably the class horse of the race, hence why it's the top weight. Both runs this time in 8 and a 0. You probably look at it and go, but they were against Hawaii 5-0 and Think About It at Gosford, where it finished only 3.5 lengths behind Think About It first up. I think about it, I'd probably beat these by at least 3.5 lengths. So that's probably not such a bad run after all. Third up here has only had the 10 career starts and won 5. So that's a pretty good record. If you put a line through the last two, it was 5 from 8. So I think you can run well here, and I think it's not bad value.
Beautiful. The 7th is the feature, the Ipswich Cup, 2,150 metres. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, it's pretty average fare actually. Really hard to get a guide on. I've come up with the favourite Numerian on top. This is the easiest field it's seen in some time. If you go back for its second against Huita in the Doomben Cup, which was a Group 1, uh, there's no horses like that in this. It wasn't bad last start against Without a Fight. It's a quality horse, and this is a weak lot. So I've got it on top. Maybe one of the knockout horses could be something like Dark Destroyer. Only third up this time in. Had some good form last time in, only had the one start. Again, lightly raced, could run well.
I have a feeling Numeria might come out just for the lack of booking and the fact it ran last week. But should it be here, it should win. As the followers of the show know, I was with it in that Group 1 and was just nabbed and too far back last time. If it does turn up here, it'll win. If it doesn't, I think Desert Icon wins coming off the Saturday second where it led up. It should lead up these as well. The Alabir form looks good inside gate. And to be frank, there's not a lot of other chasers here. I think they're the two main hopes again. But the Group 1 horse would be on top should it be here. The Eyeliner 1350 listed race is up next. And I'm getting an each way price around what I think are the two best horses in this race. May well clearly be the two best horses in this race, and that's 2 and 4, Cepheus and Gravina. Cepheus, a month off, freshen up back to 13 is interesting, but made Calipol work last time out. Before that was good behind Skyman. And Gravina, just completely forget about that first up run, too far back, and Prince of Broom was off and gone quite early into that race. It, I think, is the best horse. It's $8. As long as we can make ground, it is on top for me. I'll cover both, though, so we can get a result out of those two. What did you think?
Yeah, I've gone for Gravina as well. I think this race sets up nicely for it, drawn well. I think the Ipswich track might suit. It can sit and have one short, sharp sprint at him. So I've got it on top. This is the weakest field it's faced in some time, and I think you're right. I think it could be the best horse in this race. Each way odds is nice bets, and on top for me. Yeah, outside of that, it's really hard to find something else. I thought a horse around 20s, 15 rounds
Yep.
was capable of popping up given the right runs. So Gravina on top for me. A few other chances.
We're going to finish off with another listed race, 1,200 metres, the Gay Waterhouse Classic. There's not a lot of these are really doing credit to Gay, I would suggest, but who are you finishing the day with?
Yeah, not a bad race. Pretty open one here. Don't mind it, actually. I've come up with Russian Conquest on top. I think it's perfectly drawn here. I think its first up run in the Guineas behind Yellow Brick was quite a nice run. Go back and it does have form enlisted and group races. Yeah, trolled quite nicely recently, and I think it can run really well. And I thought Sneaky Five keeps improving, and again back in class, can run well.
When I did the form, there was 30 to 1 available in some places with $1 billion Baby. I thought that was a crazy price. As a result, it's going to be on top for me. I think I know there's a little bit of midweek form there, but it chased Iona Merck last time out, brings Sydney form here. Short turnaround, if it starts, I think is over the odds. As I just look now, it's come in a little bit. Majestic Shots Flying, another line chaser. Gate concerns me, but can hit the line well. And a race like this where I'm a little bit iffy, a horse like Tillingham, sometimes the leaders in these races just keep going. So a horse like Tillingham might be that one there. A few others go in the quaddy. You've mentioned the other main one. In a tricky way to finish off, I'm going to punch out an Ipswich quaddy as the carnival begins to draw to a close. First leg, 1 Fashion Legend, 2 Swiss Exile, 3 Count the Beans. Second leg, 1 Numerian, 2 Dark Destroyer, 3 Desert Icon. Do I have one down the bottom? Nope. Third leg, 2 Cepheus, 4 Gravina, 6 15 rounds. And if you want to throw Blazer Trail in, go for your life. And we'll finish up with 4 Majestic Shot, 5 Tillingham, 11 Snapped, 15 Russian Conquest, $19 billion Baby. I'm off Hellfest, so it's probably about to win. For progetracing.com.au, Beaver, your best and value at Ipswich.
Yeah, my best bet comes up in race 3, number 7, Sunfall, hardest to beat. And my value comes up in race 8, number 4, Gravina.
I'm going to agree with you. Race 3, number 7, Sunfall is my best. I think now I've lost plundering. We'll say, I agree. Again, Gravina, Cepheus both run well in the Eyeliner, and race 9, number $19 billion Baby. The other one I'll add to there. Very keen to get to Flemington, though. This is the most excited I've been to bet into a card in a while. We've got a soft track, potentially some late showers. The rail is at 11. which I've treated as fair, but I suggest up the straight, it's probably, you won't have the usual concern of being drawn inside. It'll be pretty fair as well. I like this. This is just a culmination of the last month's form lines all coming into each other, and if we can pick the right horses in the market, and a lot of these favourites are, in my opinion, best horses, I think it's a good betting card, mate.
I think that's right. I think there is a lot of sort of the top two in the market here look to be controlling the affair, and I think if you can find the right one, you're going to have a good day.
As I just give me a sec, I'm just going to record, make sure
Recording in progress.
Cool. We did have the audio, but I'd paused the video there for about a minute, but that's all right. There'll be some pretty graphics in between. We kick off with the first 1,000-metre benchmark 78. Nice little sprint to start the day, Beaver.
Yeah, tricky little sprint to start the day. Probably one of the hardest races on the card, I think. I'm going for the resumer here, top weight direct.
Mm-hmm.
Look, goes well first up. Hasn't been out of the placings in 5 starts. Last form when in work was pretty good. Won a couple in Melbourne before going on and taking better class races. Wait for age up the Gold Coast in January. Put out, come back here. I think it can run well and gets the 2 kilo claim.
Yep, same for me. I've got 2 I'm really keen to play around. That's the first one. You've summed that up very well. I've liked the trial since. And I'm going to also cover Rattle and Bang, who has also trialled well since, an honest little wetty, so the cut out of the ground suits. And last time we saw it in, it was finishing on the heels of Jigsaw, which looks great form for this. Around a $10 mark, it goes in everything. A little bit scared of Booney next best, who I had an opinion of going into that straight race. It ran around like a drunken sailor there. Has gone back to the trials, comes back here, and scares me a little bit. But I like the start in terms of we can cover those primary 2 and hopefully get a result. The second is a 1,420 metre handicap for the 2-year-olds, and your old mate Paulie Pruska may have a nice horse here in Stapati. Very impressive up the straight. I think 1,400 metres shouldn't be an issue. It should roll forward, and all things being equal, I think will win again. Looks good to me. At the price, though, I am going to still cover Sunsource. Was keen going into that race. It's now 30 to 1. Blinkers go on. I sort of thought going into that it may be more of a 1,400 metre horse, so we're better for the run. Don't know, not saying it can necessarily turn the tables, but at the moment it's still $6 a place. I'll at least cover that, I think. Interested to see how they both step out. What do you think?
Yeah, clearly on top for me, Stapati, excellent win last start. Down the straight, so it's got some experience here, and yeah, I think if you're beating this, you'll be winning the race clear on top for me, and I think it'll probably start even shorter than what it is now. So that's my top tip, with the Main Danger bolted in, coming over from Adelaide.
The third is a 2,540 metre handicap. Who do you like in this one?
Yeah, I'm keen on Shaiyhar. I thought that was an excellent win last start. I know on the line it was probably having some ground taken off against it, but it took off early and got to the lead early and had to pretty much do it all the way down the straight at Flemington. With that fitness run under its belt there, I think it's just clearly on top pick for me. I'm surprised it's $3. Maybe because it's gate 18, but it should be able to get in. And again, this is not a tough race. If this is a progressive type, which I think it is, 54 kilos, perfectly weighted.
Yep, love it. It's you're taking out I set out to sort of see what could beat it, and I ended up just getting rid of that whole TFLO Star race, which didn't leave anything else. It's got, I don't think distance is an issue. It's one out to 2,900 in France. I think this is a great setup here. I think this will win and win well again. And as you said, it's still a nice price. Race 4 is 1,100 metres up the straight. Who do you like?
Yeah, good little race here. I'm probably just looking for a little bit of value. I'm going I Am Bene. I think it can run really well in this. It's got plenty of potential, this horse, and I thought its first up run was pretty good. It only finished a length and a half, fifth behind Snapped in the Group 3 at Morphettville. comes here. I'm hopeful that the straight track will suit. Won its trial well, and got right back in the field at Morphettville and flew home. Uh, Look, big chance here. Obviously, the hardest to beat the favourite Sai. It looks like a progressive type, but just going a little bit of value here if there's going to be an upset.
I agree. I think there's two key chances. Sai has resumed nicely up the straight, kept to the sprint trip again. Carleen Heffel helps out there. She's riding very well. She's on top, but I'm terrified of Iron Benet. If I can cover both, I will, because I agree with everything you've said. And I think it should probably at least start second favourite here by the time we get there. If everything's in order, next best, Sack the Boss Susan, and on a straight tracker. But again, good race to bet into. Another good race to bet into is the fifth 1420 metre benchmark 90 and Party for One. I have not overthought this. It is a mare who's finally broken through. She's flying. She can take up a spot. Blake Shin knows her very well now, and I think she will win again. I think everything she's beaten already, she'll beat again. So on top for me, Cardigan Queen, it probably gets back to last, which puts her slightly out of play chasing a horse with just as good a turn of foot. And next best, Shandon Burge, who gets the blinkers, might now push further forward than last time. Still triple figures. It was an okay return, but I think there's more intent here. Another good race to bet into, Beaver.
Yep, another good race to bet into. Party for One has been one of my horses the last few starts, and I've got no reason to hop off now. The only downside is gate 13. So as long as it can take up a position, doesn't get caught wide, Flemington suits, can sit on pace, midfield, and with any luck in running, it'll take care of these. Only danger is Cardigan Queen if it gets a better run. So clear on top for me. Expect Good and Proper can run a better race at odds. Don't leave it under your guard around $16.
Race 6 starts the quaddie, a 1420 metre handicap, where, the price has gone. It was a good price here, King Magnus. Keeps winning and keeps winning well. This is a horse that we've given chances to in group races in the past. It's come back flying. I think meets a weaker field than it did last time. Beat Jimmy last time. Jimmy's not here. He's about to win the next race. So on top for me, there's no issues at all. I like the price went up. I have missed that. Main danger is, for me, is not an option. Last time was here. We saw it beat Pinstriped at the track and distance. That form reads well. I'm against that Monarch of Egypt form. I just, he's our Bonneville turned it up last week. So maybe out of spite, I'm against it. And I'll say it again. Can we get a senior jockey on Frankie Pino at some point, please? What do you think?
Yeah, I've gone for King Magnus as well. I tipped it last start. I tipped it as a really good chance to start before, and there's no reason that it cannot win again, which kind of think this is probably the easiest of the affairs. It beat Crosshaven 2 back, meeting it not really much worse off, and I think it's clear on top. It's now fourth up, 1420, perfect distance for it, and goes well at this track. So clear on top for me. Going to be hardest to beat. Couldn't find too many dangers, to be honest. Nothing else really to mention.
The 7th is over the 1620, a benchmark 90. What do you like in this one?
Yeah, look, I found the top weight and the bottom one, the two I was kind of looking for, second from the bottom, in Braden Star and Jimmy the Bear. Really loved the run of Jimmy the Bear first up. I did have it on top behind King Magnus. That was a good run, but I was super impressed with Braden Star. That was an outstanding run there. It made ground, probably better than any other horse on the day, to be honest. And I just think this sets up as well. Again, same weight, 20 metres further. No, 200 metres further. It's got an extra 200 here, so that'll only play into its favour. Clear on top pick for me, but Jimmy the Bear, obviously scared of because it is a good little horse.
I'm flipping them. I agree. I'm scared of Braden Star, of course. And interesting, they're both drawn inside. I feel like Braden Star may be more proactive with Blake Shin on, but Jimmy's unbeaten at the mile, now third up. Every run has been good this prep. Peaks here, and does have some weight relief down to most of the rest of the field with Laurel Lafferty on. Is on top from Braden Starr, and I think the trifecta out of that Braden Starr race run fill the placings again. French Emperor, who did float a little bit when it hit the front last time, and Unusual Culture, who won't know herself getting away from Sandown. Flemington Maywell Suit is another one for your quaddie. One at 50s, if you're going to have one of these old, the old Daggy 50 to 1 pops that you have something on. Predeturn is a horse that we've always had has had some abilities. Now gelded, comes back here, and the trial was good. I think may be able to do something gelded fresh. I'll throw that out there into the universe and see what return we get. The 8th is a 2,000 metre handicap. Another very good race. Who do you like here?
Yeah, look, got number 11, Art Zeno on top here from the Price Cant stable. First up run was pretty good. Its runs have been quite well spaced, but last start's got well back, just off a length. Wouldn't have needed to be much further for it to be winning that race. Go back, it only had one start the prep before, that was in a Group 2, and start before that was only one start in a listed race. So obviously had its few issues, but hopefully it's over those. 54 kilos with the Wirramoo claim. I think it's really suited here in the 2000s, right up its alley. I think it's going to be super hard to beat.
I'm terrified of it. The only concern I have is a month between runs. Or was it 3 weeks between runs straight to 2000 second up? But Mick Price and Mick Kent Jr. Tend to have an idea when they do that sort of thing. So I'll have the trust in them. Clear. Well, I set out in this race again to try and find a way to forgive First Immortal, firstly, and I decided to pen that whole race. So I got rid of the whole Verify race, and it left me with Artino, and it left me with the horse on the backup, Hard to Cross, who did get all the luck running up the inside there, but was very strong through the line. And I think 2,000 metres, third up, hard fit, quick backup, P Pain, around $11 definitely is going to be my other bet in this race. And I just got a feeling that Euphoric didn't quite run out the mile last time, and 2,000 metres might not work for me. So that's the way I've seen it. So we'll see how we go with that again.
Don't let number 4 Distrustful Award get under your guard as well from the Priska stable. Around the 20s, might be worth a couple of each way.
Lovely. The last is 1,100 metre handicap to finish the day. Legio 10 does jump in weight, but is that how you're finishing?
Yeah, I am going to finish that with Legio 10. It does jump a bit in weight, but that was a good run last start. It kind of had to switch back to the inside and had to sustain quite a long run. It kind of got shuffled around, and that probably wasn't the better part of the track, to be honest. But still won fairly comfortably there. Always looked good when it sort of got cleared. So I think it's going to be super hard to beat here. Again, gate 5, but that shouldn't be a concern. And I think clear on top for me. Kin's a horse I do like, but I was really disappointed with his run last start. I thought it had every opportunity and just didn't finish off the race like I think it can. But I probably will look to save on it just because it's a horse I've backed, but it'd be last chance.
That was a funny one because I couldn't work out whether it was sort of the unbalanced jockey or whether it was going easy in the end. Yeah. But she's the main danger, that filly, Kin. But Legio 10 on top, I agree. Everything you said, that was a nice win. Not too worried about the weight change. I believe that's probably, we may well even get a better price back on a day once people might try to oppose it. So on top, horse that's flying. Interested to see what Keen Enough brings to the table. Very impressive debut. Might be another one with upside to be a project horse for that trainer. So one after your own heart there, Beaver. Cool. All right. Progressivracing.com.au who
Sorry, you broke up.
allow us to do this for free each and every week. We don't have paywalls or subscriptions or anything like that. All you have to do is log on, and if you want, you can subscribe to us on YouTube, Spotify, or the free mailing list there. So they power us here. Your quaddie.
Yeah, the quaddie's a tricky one the first leg, but probably go wide there and look to back it off in the backer end of the day. My tips are number 1, King Magnus, number 2, Crosshaven, number 3, Frankie Pino, number 5, Juniper, and number 8, Sir Dabby. In the next leg, I'm going number 1, Jimmy the Bear, number 7, Greenfly, and number 12, Braden Star. In the third leg, I'm going number 2, Euphoric. Sorry, number 1, Hard to Cross, number 2, Euphoric, number 11, Art Zeno, number 12, Bitcoin, and number 4, Distrustful Award. And to finish the day, I'm going number 1, Legio 10, number 3, Big Watch, number 9, Ken, and number 11, Keen Enough.
Good betting card. I'm going to make my best. Race 3, number 10, Shaiyhar. I think it can win again. My value, race 7, number 1, Jimmy the Bear. What have you got?
I'm going to go, I do like Shaiyhar, but I'm going to switch another one because you've gone for it. I'm going race 5, number 2, Party for One, as my best bet of the day. And my value bet is race 4, number 4, I Am Benet.
Lovely. Anything else around Australia?
Mates, there's a couple of in Rose Hill that I did manage to find. Let me just grab those out for you. There's a couple of tough races there, but there's a few
Tricky card.
few winners
Yeah.
hiding in there. Race 4, number 2, Man Behind the Money, about $5. I think it can run well. Race 5, number 7, Faulkner Park. I think it's a horse on the way up. Another one at value, race 6, number 7, Fire and Ice. And I think that was about it for the day.
Tricky card there. One I'm interested in, race 6, number 1, Brudenell. Looking forward to seeing that back at the races. I think Rose Hill suits. Murray Bridge, sorry. Race 3, number 1, Pudding will win again. Best bet there is flying again, that horse. Thank you, mate.
And if you
Yes.
missed it, Daggy, race 10, number 9, Plundering is going to be starting in Sydney. That's why it's scratching
Oh,
Brizzy.
cool. I haven't even got to that race yet. Who's in
At
it?
$7, mate.
Let's have a look there.
Open field and big chance.
It is a chance here. Would have won in Queensland. But anyway, beggars can't be
So there you
choosers.
go.
We'll take what we can.
No, they can't.
We've soldiered through. Thank you, mate. Thank you for putting up with my man flu. I'm off to sleep until Saturday now. Good punting this weekend. Enjoy the footy. The Ashes start kicks off. Plenty of good racing all happening here. And we'll be back next Wednesday to preview midweek racing again. Take care, guys, and we'll talk then. See ya.